The Department of Agriculture has announced a compulsory housing order for poultry and captive birds in the country amid the heightened risk from avian influenza or bird flu. It comes after a case of the virus was detected on a commercial turkey farm in Carlow yesterday. More cases are expected, raising fears over the supply of Christmas turkeys.
Winter is traditionally when avian influenza or bird flu poses the highest risk. Outbreaks of a highly pathogenic strain of the virus have been identified across Europe, including the UK this year. And migrating birds can carry the virus here. In recent years, Ireland has fared well, with no case detected in a commercial flock here since 2023. But the threat has been rising, including at Fota Wildlife Park in Cork, which remains closed due to a bird flu outbreak. The virus has been detected in over 40 wild birds this year, and yesterday cases were confirmed in a Carlow farmer's turkey flock, leading the Department of Agriculture to announce a housing order for all poultry and captive birds, coming into effect on Monday.
We are in the higher risk period now as we head into the winter of more outbreaks of this. So housing alone won't solve this. We need all our flock owners to continue to exercise the highest possible biosecurity measures.
A similar measure will be introduced for the UK, including Northern Ireland, tomorrow.
It's very worrying when we see the outbreak in Carlow. It just shows the risk that is there. The prevalence in wild birds, the fact that we've had 2 cases in Fota, the fact that the virus can live in bird faeces for 13 days, the danger of it being walked into domestic flocks, commercial flocks, the people with 8 or 10 hens at home, but equally the commercial farm, because this is people's livelihoods.
Bird flu on a commercial poultry farm causes significant disruption. The whole flock is culled, with protection and surveillance zones restricting access. Farmers receive compensation, but it can take months before they're back up and running, adding huge financial burden with a knock-on effect on the food supply chain.
Well, Angus is here in studio for more on this. Angus, a worrying time for farmers, but for consumers too. What will this mean for the traditional Christmas dinner?
That's the big question right now, Sharon. The industry is really worried, and poultry farmers, they are bracing for more cases. In the case of the Carlow case that was confirmed yesterday on that farm, it was a relatively small operation with no others around it. But if there are more cases, and I understand we are expecting more to be confirmed very, very soon, and on turkey farms, this situation could get very serious very quickly. If there is a case on a farm, all the birds are culled. An exclusion zone of up to 10 kilometres is implemented. And this impacts not just the farm, but any others around it. And take the border region, for example. There's a huge concentration of poultry farms in Cavan and Monaghan. So a case around there could be devastating. And so far, we're seeing turkey farms impacted. As you say, Christmas is on the way. Turkey sales peak around then. The supply is quite tightly controlled, and when they're grown and when they're culled for your Christmas dinner. So it's not like you can simply add supply. So a spike in bird flu cases that could easily impact food supply chains and potentially the availability of your Christmas turkey. Also, Sharon, it's important to note, members of the public, if they come across a dead or obviously sick bird, not to handle it, but to report the incident. They can do so via the National Disease Emergency Hotline. That's on 01492 8026. That number is also on our website, or they can use the Department of Agriculture's Avian Check app. And finally on this, and it's important to say, bird flu, it poses very little risk to humans or to foods such as poultry, meat or eggs, so long as it's cooked normally and properly as it would be.
All right, Agriculture and Consumer Affairs correspondent Angus Cox, thank you for all of that.